Hey there, my name is Brittany Bryden. Thank you for practicing with me today. This class will be a combination of yoga, strength, and cardio. So it will be a little bit more on the challenging side, so I want you to make sure you modify as you need, listen to your body, and take breaks when you need. This will be a great class to do to give you some energy. So first thing in the morning or in the afternoon when you need a little pick-me-up, make sure you have some water, a towel, and if you like to have music in the background, I'll put the link in the description box so you can visit my Spotify account. I have lots of playlists that you can have on the background to help you stay motivated. So let's get going. All right, so you're gonna turn to face the front. Separate your feet a little bit wider than hip distance, just a little bit. We're gonna start with some heel raises, so I want you to lift the heels up as high as they can go, engage the inner thighs and the glutes to support that action, and then lower the heels down. Lift the heels up and then lower down. Lift and lower. We're gonna go a little bit quicker. Up, down, keep going. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now ground the feet, bend the knees, hinge from the hips, lower down, come into a squat, and then use your glutes to come back up to stand. Lower down, press back up. Squat, come up, squat, come up. We're gonna do for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So come up to stand, right? We're gonna add those together. So hinge, come to the squat, power up to stand, and then heel raise, lift the heels up, lower down. Squat, come to stand, heels lift, lower. Squat, come up, lift and lower for 3 more, and lift for 2, and then 1 more. Come up to stand. So now make those transition a little bit smoother. So you're gonna come into a squat, power right up, heel lift. Squat, come right up to stand, heel lift. Lower, up, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and then drop the heels. Bend the knees, hinge from the hips, fold into the legs. Let your head hang. Bring your fingertips to the shins, lift up halfway, lengthen the spine. Set your hands down and just step back into a downward dog. So as you come into the downward dog, ground to the hands, but pedal out the legs. That will feel good after what we just did. And we're gonna come forwards into a plank. So you might have to walk your feet back a little bit. Shoulders come over top of the wrists, and then set your knees down. So you're more in a leaning table. So I want you to make sure you have that wrap in towards the midline with the core, engage the inner thighs and the glutes. Now you can either have your toes tucked under or press the tops of feet on the floor. Externally rotate from the shoulders. So you're gonna see the eye of the elbow crease come forwards. Bend the elbows, you're gonna lower all the way down to the floor. Stay broad to the collarbones. And then take your hands to a hover. As the hands come to a hover, retract your shoulder blades. So I want you to envision like you're trying to bring your shoulder blades towards one another, and then lift the chest off the ground without pushing the chin forwards. And then lower down, ground the hands, engage to the inner thighs and the glutes, the core, press yourself back up to that leaning table, and then shift your hips back for a child's pose. So we're gonna connect all those pieces together. So you're gonna come forwards in the leaning table, push up, lower all the way down. Hover the hands, baby cobra, chest comes forwards and up. And then lower, press yourself up, shift back, child's pose. So 3 more, come forwards in the leaning table, lower all the way down. Hover the hands, baby cobra. And then lower, press back up, child's pose. Come forwards for 2, lower down, baby cobra. And then lower, press up, child's pose. 1 more time, come forwards, lower down, baby cobra, hands down, and press up, child's pose, and take a pause there. So close the eyes, find your breath moving in and out of the nose. Take 1 more breath here. And then you're gonna come forwards in a table. Tuck your toes under. Lift your knees just an inch above the floor. Just an inch, no higher. Now I want you to feel like you're pulling your hands to your feet and vice versa. Make sure you're not collapsing the chest towards the ground. Hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You're gonna lift your hips up and back, downward dog. Bring your big toes to touch. Heels lift as you send the hips back and take your right leg up towards the ceiling. Come forwards, bring your knee to the nose, shoulders come over top of the wrist or the fingers, and step your right foot down beside your right thumb so the feet are on separate tracks. Bend your left knee, so your left knee is just gonna hover above the floor. And then you're gonna sweep your arms to forwards and then all the way up towards the ceiling. So draw the ribs in, make sure you're not taking the arms way behind you, that left knee is still hovering. And now you're gonna come into a high lunge, so you're gonna start to straighten that back leg as much as feels good for you. So it's not a full straighten if that does not feel good on the back of the hip. Now bend that knee again, lower to a hover, come up for your high lunge. The high lunge is gonna lift different for everyone. So you're gonna lower down, come back up, lower, press up. 5 more, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. You're gonna turn this into a runner's lunge. So put power on that left leg, lean the chest forwards and reach your arms back. Feel like you're pulling the feet in towards one another. Keep the long spine and just bring your hands together in prayer. Put a soft bend in that back knee. You're gonna push off your back foot, tap your left foot to the inside of your right foot, and then just tap it back. So don't transfer weight, just tap. Bring the foot forwards, tap, and then tap it back. Forwards and back. Keep going. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Next time you step back, high lunge, reach both arms up, and then open up for warrior 2. Reverse your warrior, right arm's gonna reach up and over. Windmill your hands down to frame your right foot, turn on the ball of your back foot, and step back, downward dog. You're gonna come forwards in a plank. Your knees can be up or down. You're gonna lower all the way to the floor. Baby cobra, lift the chest forwards and up, and then lower down. Press yourself through table or full plank, and we'll meet in downward dog. Big toes come to touch. Heels lift as you send the hips back. Left leg up towards the ceiling. Come forwards, bring your knee to your nose, and then step your foot down beside your left thumb. Right knee bends, hover the knee, pull the feet in towards one another, and then sweep your arms forwards and up. So set this up first, make sure you're not pushing the ribs forwards. And then come into your high lunge, whatever that looks like for you on this side. Bend your back knee, hover, and then come back up. Lower down, and come up. 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, come into your high lunge. And then runner's lunge, you're gonna lean your chest forward, sweep your arms back. So think long spine, make sure you're not just hanging out in that left hip. Bring your hands together in prayer. Put a soft bend in that back knee, push off that back foot, tap your right foot just to the inside of the left foot, and then tap it back. Tap it forwards, tap it back. Couple more, forwards and back. And now we're gonna count for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. And then next time that you step back, high lunge, reach both arms up. Open up for warrior 2. Reverse warrior, left arm up and over. Windmill your hands down to frame your left foot, turn on the ball of your back foot. Step back, downward dog. Come forwards in a plank. Lower all the way down to the ground. Baby cobra, chest comes forwards and up. And then lower down. Press yourself to table or full plank. We'll meet in downward dog. So now I want you to look forwards, lift your heels up, bend the knees, hop or step, make your way to the top of the mat. The feet are about hip distance apart. Now come into the squats. You're gonna bend the knees, lower the hips down. You're gonna come up to stand with the heel raise, or you're gonna hop, lower back in the squat, set the hands down, step back into plank. Lower all the way to the floor. Baby cobra. And then lower. Tuck the toes under, press yourself back up, meeting in downward dog. So we're gonna do that a few more times. So again, choose the level that you're at. Make sure you're doing what feels good for you. I'm gonna add in the jump. So you're gonna look forwards, make your way to the top of the mat, come into a squat. Jump up, lower. Hands, hop or step back, lower all the way to the ground. Baby cobra, and then lower, press yourself up, downward dog. Keep going, look forwards, hop. Come into the squat jump, lower. Hands, hop back, lower to the floor. Baby cobra, lower down. Press yourself up, downward dog. Last time, hop forwards, squat. Come up, lower. Hands, hop back, lower down. Baby cobra, lower. Press yourself up. Downward dog. Whoo! Pause and down dog. Yikes. I feel it, I feel it. Okay, so now you're gonna look forwards, bend the knees, make your way to the top of the mat. You can keep your feet hip distance or you can bring your feet together. Bend your knees, lower the hips down, and come into a chair pose. So what you want to do with the arms is totally up to you. You can keep them in prayer, you can reach them further forwards, maybe even up, but you're going to lower the hips down a bit more. Now you're going to come up to stand, and as you power up to stand, bring your right leg in towards your chest. Set the foot down and come into your chair. Other side, power up, left leg to chest. Set the foot down, squat. Power up right, squat, left, squat. So we're gonna go a little bit faster. Right, squat, left, lower, right, and left. One more round each side. Right, and then left. Lower and pause there. So you can either continue with what we just did, or we're gonna add another aspect to that. So as you move through your squat, you're gonna come all the way down until your booty's on the floor. Then you're gonna roll onto your back, knees towards your chest. Roll yourself back up, and as you come to stand, right leg to chest. Set the foot down, lower, roll. Feet on the ground, come up, left leg to chest. See, you got it. Now we're gonna keep going. Switching side to side as you power up. Using your breath. And again, if you do not want that roll, you're just staying standing as you switch side to side, adding in that squat. And if you would like to go a little further, when that knee comes in, you can hop. Keep going. We're gonna do one more round on each side. Last one. And then we'll meet standing. Whew. So ground your feet. I just want you to take one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, and close the eyes. So going from all that movement to stillness. Notice how your body's feeling here. Take a full breath in, reach your arms up. And then as you exhale, fold into your legs. Halfway lift to lengthen. Set the hands down. Now your choice, downward dog or vinyasa, whatever feels good for you here. And then come down onto your knees. Cat-cow, send the chest forward, tailbone up. Round through the spine. A couple more cat-cows. Maybe you want to change your hands here and give your wrists and your forearms a nice stretch. One more. And then come off your hands, shake them out. We're going to come down onto our bums. Take your legs out in front of you, give them a good shake. We're just going to come down onto our backs. So as you come on your backs, bring your knees in towards your chest, rock a little side to side. Now you're going to keep your right leg in towards your chest, interlace the hands below the knee. Take your left leg long on the floor and press your left heel into the ground. So feel that activation through that left leg. And I want you to notice if you're hiking that right hip up. See if you can level out the hips, root down through your pelvis. and then lift your left heel just to a hover. So you still have that activation, you're just hovering that left heel. Now you can either stay with your back on the floor or you can lift your chest up towards that right thigh. And again, you can use your hands or you can reach your arms forwards. You can also reach your arms up towards the ceiling or maybe even reach them back. You're going to take one more breath. And then we're going to switch back on the floor, interlace the hands below that left knee, right leg forwards, press the right heel down. Close the eyes. Take a few breaths here. All right, lift that right heel to a hover. Notice if that left hip is hiking up. You can stay where you are, or your head comes off the ground and you lift your chest up towards that left thigh. You can stay, you can reach your arms forwards or back. For 3, for 2. And keeping wherever you are, but the only thing that's going to change is switch the legs. So either keep your chest lifted, or you can keep the back on the floor, or you can use the arms or without the arms, and then switch. Switch, and then switch. You're going to keep going on your own at a pace that suits you. We're going to do about 30 seconds here. So make sure you're not holding the breath. Feeling it move in and out of the nose. Stay with me, stay with me. Last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pull your knees in, lower the back on the floor, close the eyes. Bring your feet down on the mat about hip distance apart. Hands on the floor, framing the hips. As you press the feet down, come into a bridge, lift the hips up, using the glutes and the hamstrings. You can stay where you are. You can walk your shoulder blades underneath you and interlace the hands, press the arms to the ground. Maybe you have a full wheel in your practice and that feels good here. Release the hands, slowly roll down the back. Take your arms out into a T shape and just let your knees rock side to side. Next time your knees land over to the left, you can stay in the shape that you're in. You can bring your knees closer to one another. You'll turn this into a reclined twist. So adjust your arms to whatever feels good here. Just close the eyes. And we'll switch sides. Take your knees over to the right. Bring yourself back to center. And just take a few moments in stillness. Slide the legs out in front of you. Bring the arms down to the floor. Close the eyes. Scan the body. How's it feeling after the practice you just had? And please stay hang out in the shape for as long as you need. If this is practice that started your day, maybe take a moment here and set an intention. Acknowledging a word or a mantra that you'd like to carry with you throughout the rest of your day. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Always be humble, be kind. Namaste.